I'm Bryce from Company of Adventurers. Welcome to another Teachable Tuesday. Today, I'm going to show you how to pimp your pack. Well, last week I showed you what to bring with you on a winter camping trip. This week, I'm going to show you how to pack it. We're going to be using the ABCs of packing to do that. A, accessible. You want things like your lunch, your water, the things that you're going to be taking out of your pack as you're moving down the trail, accessible. B, we want our pack to be balanced so it can sit on its own, sitting down on the ground. That way we know it's balanced on our backs. If we're skiing, that's really important. We don't want our pack flying around. We don't want hangy danglers off of it. C is compressed. So the straps and all the buckles and everything done up, nicely compressed, nice and tight. D, dense. We don't want any empty spaces in our backpack. E is everything inside. Again, no hangy danglers. And finally, F is your fuel underneath your food. Now, I'm using this 85-liter backpack, and center of gravity on a person, it's somewhere around our midsection. We want our heaviest gear to be there. I've got my -25 bag for winter camping, and it fits very nicely in this bottom pouch. It's not a super heavy thing, but it takes up a lot of space. Make sure those are nice and tight. Now, the whole time I'm doing this, I want to be thinking about my B of my ABCs. I want my bag to be balanced. So the next thing I'm gonna do is start thinking about the heavy stuff that I'm gonna be putting in here. So my pot set's pretty heavy. I'm gonna put my pot set in there. Spare clothing. It's fairly heavy, fairly dense. And I'm already finding that I have this empty space right here. So I'm gonna fill that with something that I don't really need to get at until later in the day. I'm gonna put my stove there. D for dense, filling that little space. I'm not gonna need my mattress until I get to camp. I'm not gonna need to pull it out on the trail, so it's gonna go pretty deep in my backpack. Yep, my pack's still standing on its own. Seems pretty balanced. Same thing, my tarp, probably not gonna need that until I get to camp. My bivy sack, same thing. So I don't put it in a bag, and one of the reasons is I can kind of shove this in and fill up some of those spaces that might be just hanging out in there, little nooks and crannies. I'm going to take my shovel apart, shove the handle down. Something like a shovel blade can slide all the way in, nice and easily. Now, one thing with the shovel is if you are on a backcountry ski trip, you want that to be more accessible because you might need that in an emergency. Next thing is gonna be my fuel. Like I said, I want this to be underneath my food just in case it contaminates my food with a leak. I'm not gonna need my comfy cozy boots till way later either. I want everything to be dense, so I'm really packing everything in there. Checking my balance, still looking pretty balanced. I've already got my fuel in there, so I can probably put my food in now. I want to make sure this first aid kit's pretty accessible. I'm getting pretty close to the top of my pack, so I'm happy with putting it in here now. My repair kit, my pack cover. Okay, so now I'm getting down to the stuff that I really want to be accessible. My lunch. If I have any really good ideas, I want this to be handy. Write them down. My map and compass, I'm gonna be checking that throughout the day, so I want that nice and accessible. Toilet paper, yeah, I want that accessible. Sunglasses, those are gonna come on and off throughout the day. Sunscreen as well. My thermos, if I want a sip of a hot drink, I'm gonna have that nice and close, easy to get at. Same with my water. My stove pad's gonna fit in this spot really well on the outside. And finally, I don't love having stuff on the outside of my pack, but something light like this, it's not a huge deal. Okay, so now I've got everything inside. I'm ready for a winter camp.